Hi students, today I am going to teach you how to factor the sum and difference of two cubes. Okay, if you can still remember, x times x times x, that would give us x cubed, right? X squared times x squared times x squared, that would give us x raised to 6. Okay, so what I am pointing out here is because we are going to use the cube root. And what is cube root? Okay, so the cube of x means x times x times x. Okay, therefore, if we were asked what is the cube root of x cubed, then your answer would be x. Because if you're going to multiply x by itself 3 times, then you will arrive at x cubed. Okay? Next, we have here x squared times x squared times x squared, that would give us x raised to 6. Therefore, the cube root of x raised to 6 would be x squared. Is that clear? So first, we're going to find the factors of the sum of two cubes. X cubed plus y cubed is equal to the quantity x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared. So we have here two cubes, x cubed plus y cubed, and the factors would be this one. This will actually be our formula. But first, how did that happen? Okay? So first that we're going to do, I'm going to illustrate how these two factors arrive. Okay, so we have your x cubed plus y cubed. The first step to get the first factor, x plus y, that would be to get the cube root. So what is the cube root of x cubed? That would be x. And what is the cube root of y cubed? That would be y. Remember, this is addition. Okay, next thing that we're going to do will be based on the binomial here. So first is we're going to square x, and that will be x squared. Next, we're going to get the negative product of the first term and the second term. So negative product is x times y would be xy, negative xy, right? Next would be the square of the last term, or the second term. Therefore, that is y squared. Okay, let's have some examples for you to be clarified with this formula. Okay, we have here a cubed plus 1. Again, our first step to solve this one is to get the cube root of the two terms. So what is the cube root of a cubed? That would be a, right? And what is the cube root of 1? That is 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And then that is addition. Okay, next, basing on our answer here, the binomial, we are going to square the first term. So a times a, that would be a squared. Is that clear? Okay, next that you're going to do is to get the negative product of the two terms. So negative product, a times 1 is a times negative, that would be negative a. Next is we are going to square the last term. So 1 times 1, that would be positive 1. Alright, so this is our final answer. The factors of a cubed plus 1 would be the quantity a plus 1 times the quantity a squared minus a plus 1. The next example that we're going to have, we have here a cube plus 8b cubed. Our first step, once again, is to get the cube root of both terms. Okay, the cube root of a cube is a, the cube root of 8 is 2, and the cube root of b cubed is b. Next thing, we are going to square the first term. So a times a is a squared. Next is we're going to get the negative product of the binomial, of the terms in the binomial. So a times 2b, that would be 2ab, 2ab, and negative. Okay, lastly, we are going to square the last term. And squaring the last term would give us 2 times 2, that is 4, and b squared, that would be easy. Next, we have here 27x cubed plus 8. So again, get the cube root. What number are you going to multiply by itself to get 27? So we have 3, because 3 times 3 times 3, that will give us 27. So 3, and then x cubed is simply x. Okay, how about 8? What is the cube root of 8? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Therefore, the cube root of 8 is 2. Now, how again are we going to find for the second factor? First, you are going to square the first term here. So 3x times 3x, that would be 9x squared. Okay, next, you are going to get the negative product of the two terms. 3x times 2 would be 6x, and negative product. Okay, so negative. And lastly, square the last term. So plus 2 times 2, that is 4. Next po, we have here x cubed, y cubed plus z cubed. Okay, the same process. So we are going to get the cube root of x cubed, y cubed, that would be xy. The cube root of z cubed, that would be z. Next is you square the first term here. So x squared, y squared. Next, get the negative product of x, y, and z. That will be negative x, y, z. Finally, get the square of z. So that will be z squared. Alright, we have your 125a cubed plus b cubed. So again, we are going to get the cube root of both terms. Cube root of 125a cubed would be 5a, b cubed, that is p. Okay? Why is it 5a? Because 5a times 5a times 5a, that is 125a cubed. Okay? Next, square the first term here. So 5a times 5a, that is 25a squared. Next, get the negative product of 5a and b. That would be negative 5ab. And lastly, square the last term b. That would be b squared. Easy? Okay, next, we have two more examples here. 16b cubed plus 54c cubed. Okay, so what we're going to do here is to get the cube root once again. 16 and 54, they are not perfect cubes. So what are we going to do? Look at 16 and 54. They have common factor, right? What could it be? The common factor of 16 and 54 is 2. So we will get the common monomial factor first. I repeat, 16 is not a perfect cube. 54 is not also a perfect cube. But they have a common factor, and that is 2. So I will bring the common factor out from the parentheses first. Okay, so 16 divided by 2 would give us 8p cubed. Okay, next, 54c cubed divided by 2 would give us 27c cubed. Okay, look at this one. It is already a sum of two cubes because 8 is a perfect cube, 27 is also a perfect cube. Okay, here we will just carry 2. Get the cube root of 8b cubed, that will give us 2b. Alright, next, 27c cubed, that will give us 3c. Okay, finally, basing on our answer here, we can find the second factor. So 2b cubed square is 4b squared. Negative product of 2b and 3c, that would be 6b c, and lastly the square of 3c, that would be 9c squared. Okay, and for our last example, we have your p raised to 6 plus 64. So they are already perfect cube. Okay, so p raised to 6, what would be the cube root of p raised to 6? Okay, going back a while ago, x squared times x squared is equal to x raised to 6. So the same process here. P squared times p squared times p squared, that is p raised to 6. Therefore, the cube root of p raised to 6 is p squared. Why again? P squared times p squared times p squared, that would be p raised to 6. Okay? Next, what is the cube root of 64? That would be 4. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4, that would be 64. So, 4. Finally, we can now find the second factor, p squared, and then square it again. That would give us p raised to 4. Okay, next is the negative product of p squared and 4. Negative 4p squared. Lastly is the square of 4 here. Okay, so plus 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So that is factoring the sum of two cubes. How about if it is factoring the difference of two cubes? Okay, don't worry guys. It is just the same. Alright, we have here the formula. X cubed minus y cubed is equal to the quantity x minus y times the quantity x squared plus xy plus y squared. Okay, again, I'm going to explain how did that happen. So x cubed minus y cubed. Again, to get the first factor, we have here the cube root of x cubed is x. And then since this is minus, we will put subtraction. And then the cube root of y cubed here is y. Alright, so basing here, we are going to get the square of the first term. So x times x, that would be x squared. And then the positive product of x and y. The positive product of the first term and the second term. That will give us plus xy. And last is the square of the second term y. That would be y squared. So we will have examples here. Okay, we have here x cubed minus 1. Again, the cube root of x cubed is x and the cube root of 1 is 1. Okay, since that is minus. And then square the first term, that would be x squared. Positive product of x and 1, that would be plus x. And lastly, the square of the second term. Negative 1 times negative 1, that is 1. Alright, next po. We have here 27a cubed minus 8. Again, get the cube root of 27a cubed. That will give us 3a. And then 8 would give us 2. Okay, again, basing from this answer, we have the square of 3a, that is 9a squared. And then multiply 3a and 2. Okay, that will be a positive product, so 6a. And lastly, square the last term, that is 4. I hope that is clear. Okay, next we have here a cubed b cubed minus 27. So a cubed b cubed, just get the cube root of the both variables. So a, b, and then 27 is 3. Okay, finally we can square the first term, that is a squared b squared. Next, get the positive product of ab and 3, that will be 3ab. And lastly, get the square of the last term, that will give us 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, last example, we have 8a cubed minus 125b cubed. Okay, so again, get the cube root of 8a cubed, that will be 2a. 125b cubed, that will give us 5b. Okay, and then just square the first term, that is 4a squared. Next, get the positive product of the first and second term, that would be plus 10ab. And lastly, square the last term, that would be 5b squared, that would be 25b squared. Okay, so I hope that is clear, and thank you so much for listening.